Huh?
You don't need balance. It creates a glare.
Good evening, and welcome to Mrs. Spencer's Math Lab. So glad to have you with me again. Last week we were stormed out, but thank God we are back again this week. If you are new to the program, then we ask that you would hit the little arrows so that you get full screen. Today we can use calculators. So if you have a calculator, you can get that. And pencil and paper, of course. Today we're going to work on statistics. And so many people have a time saying that word. I never understood why. Statistics. The study of many things. The study of populations, the study of types of cars, the study of whatever we want to make a study of. We can do this with statistics, and especially if it involves numbers. And the three types of statistics that we're going to work with today is the mean, the median, and the mode. Those of you who are here for the first time, I want you to know that I'm a tutor, and I try to talk on subjects that I have had to tutor students with. I have had to tutor a student just last week on mean, median, and mode. And if I find that a student is having a problem with something, then that's my chance to try to remove the blocker. If, however, I can't, then we can do private one-on-one tutoring. But this time, I'm trying to see if I can reach many people with these three concepts, mean, median, and mode. So let's get ready to go. All right, mean. Another name for the mean is average, and we hear that so often. So what are we finding when we have some data and we want to find the average? When we have data, we always have some, if we think of a line, of horizontal line, and we're going to graph this, we always have some low ones on the high end, on the low end, and then the most of the occurrences are in what we call the middle. So we call them central tendencies, and then we have some on the end. For example, if I gave a test, I would hope that the test was a good measure, and I would have a few A's, and hopefully no F's, but a few of the lower grades. But most of the students would fall in the B and the C range, if it's a good test. Now, if I have a test, and everybody's on this side, we call that skewed to the right, left, then I know that wasn't a good test. Or if everybody failed it, so many failed it, I would know again that that's not a good test. So even teachers use this to see how well they are testing students, how well the test is working, which kinds of problems students are having. All right, so today we're talking about central tendencies, where most of the people fall, most of the cases fall. And that gives us an indication of what we're doing, whether it's population, whether it's real estate, whether it's grading in school, or whatever it is. So the mean, or the average, is one of the central tendencies for data when we don't have any extremes. So you say, what do you mean by that, Mrs. Spencer? So, for example, if I had some numbers 7, 8, 5, 3, 8, 6, and I had one 58. Well, find an average here, find the mean here would be really not a good picture, because we have this big number here that's so far from these numbers. So an average here would necessarily show us what we want to see about the data. So we call these outliers, because that number is too big to go with the rest of them, although it may have occurred. So we want data that doesn't have something that's too small for all the rest or too large for all the rest. All right? So we can use that, as I said, for grades. You can figure out your grades, students, by keeping a record of your grades and then finding out the mean. You can find out what your average is going to be. You can find out what your grade is going to be. All right, sports statistics, studying speeds, studying types of cars, and so on. All right, so the mean is one of the central tendencies that would have numbers without extremes. We don't want extremes because they would throw it off. It's just like if you had a test, you had test grades, and you got 78, 68, 58, and so great scores. Let's say you got great scores, but you had some zeros. Those zeros would pull that average way down. And we're going to see about that a little later as we work. All right, so let's see how we find the mean. All right, it's a very simple method. Mathematically, it's not difficult. All right, finding the mean. We add the numbers and divide by the sum of the number of add-ins that we had. So if we say we're adding 6 different numbers, we find the sum, and then we'll divide that sum by 6 because we added 6 numbers. Add-ins is a name for the numbers that we add. All right, so if I was finding the mean, the first thing I would need to do is find the sum of all the numbers in the study. Then divide the sum by the number of add-ins. So let's have a problem that we're going to use today. All right. And this is some statistics from an ice cream store. And we notice the days are Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And the number of customers are listed here, and you see them. All right, so what could an ice cream company do with this? First of all, he could see which days he had the best, or the most people. So that would tell him which days he needed the most cones and the most ice cream. And if he did this every week for a while, he made a study, he would know which days not many people came into his store. And he would know how to adjust that. Along with that, we could find the mean, and that's what we're going to do. And remember, we said the mean is found by adding the numbers and dividing by the number of add-ins. So what I'd like for you to do is to copy these numbers and find the sum. Find the sum of these numbers. So copy them on your paper and find the sum. And you may use your calculator. So you may just I told you today you can use calculators to save time because it takes us longer to add these, and I want to do some more problems. So I don't want to get stuck with one. So put these into your calculator and find the sum of these numbers. And when you find the sum, let me know what it is. Finding the mean, or it's same as the average. And we add the numbers. That's the first step. We add the numbers. So let's add the numbers. All right, and this is going to be our sample problem today. We're going to find mean, median, and mode of these numbers. All right. All right, what did you find for the sum? Is anyone saying 490? All right, the sum is 490. All right, that's step one. All right, so how many numbers did we add? How many add-ins? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So now our next step is to divide 490 by 7. All right, let's do that. And we get 70. All right, I'm old school, so I like to do the math. Although I told you you could use your calculators. All right, so the mean is 70. So what does that tell him? The average per day, he needs no less than 70 cones at least a day, because he needs to prepare for at least 70, looking at this data. All right, and of course he knows that on certain days, so that even on the slow days, he's going to prepare for at least 70. So this has some meaning for him or her. And so they're going to know that we need, the average is 70. The mean is 70. All right, for this data. Okay, we found the mean. All right, before we leave that, I'm going to give you another set of numbers and just ask you to find the mean. All right, this is an example of some homework grades. All right, and the grades are 88. My pen is not doing well. Let me get another pen. All right, I want you to find the mean and see what your average would be if you had these grades. 88. My pens are drying out. 92. 86. That's what this is. 94. 95. All right, and let's say you didn't do one of the homework grades, homework assignments. And let's see what this average would be, what this mean would be. 88, 92, 86, 94, and 95. All right, and what did you get? Okay, I'm waiting for you to find the sum. We're finding the average of these numbers. All right. The sum, 479. Okay. Now, I'd like for you to complete it. Find the average. We found the sum. Now we divide the sum by the number of add-ins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. And you can round it off to the nearest 10. Sometimes it doesn't come out evenly. So that's 6. Let's see, I think I looked at the wrong one. Let's see, 10, 20, 25. I'm looking at the wrong problem. Okay, and somebody should have said help when they saw that. All right, it should be 455. All right, that's why I trust my work rather than the calculators anyway. 10, okay, 5, It's 10, 20, 25, 27. Okay, 455. Okay, let's find the average by dividing 455 by 6 because we have 6 grades. Okay. All right, so I think you should have gotten something like 75.8. Now look at all those good grades. This happens to students. All these good grades that student has and did not do one. And that makes that grade about a C, when actually this student should have an A or a B. But this is what happens, students, when you don't do all of your work that is assigned. You can have good grades, and one bad grade can bring your average or your mean down. All right, this time I want you to find the average without the 0 and see what you would have gotten had you passed in all your homework. Let's see what you would have gotten. So this time we're going to divide by 5. Okay. I'm waiting for you because I don't want you to copy. I want you to work, and I left my phone upstairs with my calculator. I sure did. All right, and I have, then I'll just do it mathematically. This time it's 455 divided by 5. And so we get 9 and no remainder. 91. What a difference in the grade. So I did this problem because I wanted some students to really realize how important it is, because this is what your teacher's going to do to get your grade point average. They are going to add up your grades, find the mean, and give you the grade. So look what happened. You got 75.8. That's about a C. And this is an A or B, depends on which schools you are in. So again, you need to keep a track of your own grades so that you can know what your average is. I'm always puzzled when I ask a student, how are you doing? And they say, I don't know. You should always know how you're doing in your grades at school. Keep a record of your grades and find your averages as you go. So look at the difference. With that 0, that student had 75.8. And had he done all of his work and did without that 0, it would have been a much higher grade. So the mean is very important, and teachers use it all the time to determine your grade. So you need to do that as well. So to find the mean, we simply add the numbers and divide by the number of add-ins. Add the numbers and divide by the number of add-ins. So for this particular data, and we're going to keep track of it, the mean was 70. Okay. Okay. So we have found the mean of this data. All right, now let's see what we're going to do with the median. And think of the word median. Where do you use that word? We see medians in the street, so that means middle, middle, middle. All right? The median is in the middle, and that's exactly what the median is. And we use the median We use the median in cases like, for example, if you're going to buy a home and you are trying to find out how much you want to pay for it in that community, you would sort of compare the prices of the various homes. And there's a median price. There's a median price. If I'm going out to catch a sale or if I'm going out to buy something, I want to sort of know what the median price is. I don't want the cheapest thing because it's probably not that good. And the most expensive thing I probably cannot afford. So I want a median. All right? So the median is a very simple and easy process. It's not as mathematical as the other because it's more about where the number is located. What number is in the middle? What number is actually in the middle of the data? Okay, so how do we find the median? First of all, we have to arrange the numbers in order from least to greatest. Arrange the numbers from least to greatest. All right, from the smallest to the largest. And then we're actually going to find the numbers in the middle. Simple. So I want you to arrange these numbers. Look at these numbers, these spots of 6, 7 numbers, and arrange them from the least to the greatest. From the least, from the smallest to the greatest. Now, we can't find the middle just like this because we're going to get a different answer. But there is a middle number. And sometimes there are 2 numbers in the middle. So if there are 2 numbers in the middle, we add them and take the average. Or in other words, find the mean of those 2 numbers. And I'm going to do one problem like that today. All right, so if we arrange them correctly, we have 50, 51, 55, and we have to write that as many times as we see it. We see 55 twice. All right, and 82. 95, and the largest is 102. Okay, so we have the numbers arranged from the smallest to the largest, and if we had, if you had 6 of them, you would write all of them. Don't just write it once, because you have to show all your data has to be included here. All right, so this is an easy way to do it. I mark out 1 here, and 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here. So this is the number in the middle. That is the number in the middle. The number in the middle is the mode, and the mode is 55. The mode for this data is 55. The mode, the number in the middle is 55.
Medium.
Excuse me?
Medium.
All right. I mean the median. I'm sorry. I'm saying mode, the median. I'm writing and talking is sometimes difficult. All right, the median. All right, the median. Arrange the numbers from smallest to largest, and then find the number in the middle. And it's simply location. You're not adding or subtracting, multiplying or dividing. You just find the location of the middle number. So the median is 55. All right? Questions? This is very easy. So I hope that you will be able to follow up with the problem that I may give you later. All right, so let's review. The mean is the central tendency found by adding up all of the data, all of the numbers, and dividing that sum by the number of addends. The median is simply the number that's located exactly in the middle of all of the others by locations, just by location, not by mathematically, but just location. And before we can determine that, we must arrange the numbers from the least to the greatest and then actually find the number that's in the middle. How easy can that be? All right, the third one then is the mode. The mode. All right, the mode is the number that repeats the most. It is the number that occurs the most. Sometimes you don't have a mode because sometimes all the numbers only occur once. Here we go again with that. All right, the mode is the number that repeats the most. And we use that for surveys and elections and other things to find out what is the most popular car, what is the most used item, what is the most people pay for a certain product. So, or what product do most people use the most or buy the most? All right, so the mode is the number that repeats the most. And it's used for surveys and elections and other things that you want to determine that for. So that's simply easy. So you just do what? Again, the numbers should be, well, you don't have to arrange them. But I usually tell students to arrange them from the least to the greatest so that they have some order. Because sometimes if you don't do that, you will leave a number off. So I always tell them to arrange the numbers first if you're going to do the mean, median, and mode, even though you don't have to arrange them to find the median. The mean, but you must arrange them to find the median. But you don't have to arrange them to find the mode, but it's safe to arrange those numbers when you start, and you will be able to do everything that you need to do. All right, so if you don't do this, you're going to have to go through and find the number that repeats the most. And how simple can that be? The number that repeats the most in this data is what? Of course, it's 55. We have 55 appearing twice. Everything else appears only once. So the mode for this data is, the mode is 55. Okay, so for 2 days, he has the same number for Sunday and Tuesday. Mine is the day that he doesn't have many customers, but it appears that Friday is when he has a lot of customers and maybe even needs to have an extra clerk in there who is working and serving the ice cream. So statistics is very important for a lot of reasons. All right, so again, let's go through these three things. The mean is the number found by adding, finding the sum of the numbers, and dividing by the number of addends. The median is the number that's exactly in the middle when you have arranged all your data from the least to the greatest. The mode is the number that appears the most. Mode, most. Median, middle. I mean, these words suggest what they are. Median is always in the middle. Mode is think of mode most. And it's easy to remember and not to get them confused that way. All right, and the mean is the number we find by adding and dividing by the sum. All right, so we have found the mean, the median, and the mode for this ice cream store data. So let's take another problem that we can work with together. All right, here's a student doing a science project, and he's growing tomatoes. And so he measures the heights of the tomatoes in inches. And these are the numbers that he got: 36, 42, 52, 40, 38, okay, 41, 50, and 58. All right. All right, so let's find the mean, the median, and the mode. All right, and I'm just going to stop a moment because I want to see if you can do that just from what we have said and not from my helping you. So let's work on the mean first. Let's work on the mean first. Let me make sure I have the numbers: 36, 42, 52, 40, 38, 41, 50, and 58. All right. And so we first find the median. What's the average height of these tomato plants that he grew? What was the average height or the mean height? Okay. So the first thing we have to do to find the median, or the mean, is to add these numbers. Use your calculator. I'm allowing calculators today. I don't usually like them because I want all my students to know how to add. And sometimes you are so accustomed to using those calculators that you don't even do the simplest problems, and that disturbs me. We ought to be able to just go zip, 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 6, 8, da, 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 da. So, all right, what did you get for the sum of these numbers? What did you get for the sum? And I left my calculator. You got a calculator on yours? Okay, thank you. All right, find the sum. Okay, 36, 42, 52, 40, 38, 41, 50, and 58. All right, and if you did it correctly and I did it correctly, you got 357. All right, now finish it. That's the total. And we have to divide that by how many add-ins. Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. And I'm going to allow you to use your calculator to save time so that we can get to another problem. All right, and you get 44. We're going to round off to tenths. So we get 44 and 6/10. That's the mean, 44 and 6/10. We got 44.625, and we round off. So we get 44 and 6/10 inches. All right, very easy. Now let's find the median. And let's see, what you're going to remember to do first is to arrange these numbers from the smallest to the largest. And it's a good thing to check them off as you use them. And then before you finish, count yours to be sure you have the right number. Statistics is not difficult, but if you leave off a number, your work is just wrong. And we have to be very careful that we include everything exactly as it is. Because your instructor is going to be looking for your answers to be the same as theirs. Okay. All right, so the median and arranging them in order. What do we get? How do we arrange them? The smallest is what? 36. I'm going to put them down here, 36. All right, then we have 42. No, we have 36. Let's see. Then we have 38, 36. Okay, 38. Okay. All right, we have 40. All right, I'm modeling what you to do. 41. 42. Okay. 50. 52. And 58. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so now that we have them in order, we merely have to now do what? Just find the one in the middle. So, 1, down. All right. This time we have 2 in the middle. When that occurs, what we do is find the average of those 2. So we go back to finding the mean again. All right, I'm going to erase these now that we have, I shouldn't have done that, but that's okay. I'll do it. All right, so we have 41 plus 42, and that's 83, and divide 83 by 2. And what do you get? Use your calculator. I'm allowing calculators today. Okay. All right, so you get 4, 1, 41.5. All right, so then the median is 41.5. Okay, so remember, sometimes there's 2 in the middle. When there are 2 in the middle, you add them and divide by 2. Simple enough. All right, now let's find the mode. So we look at these numbers to see which number occurs the most. And what do we find? No number reoccurs, so the mode is 0. So we have a 0 mode. We have no mode. Okay? All right, that's simple enough. That was a pretty good little practice. All right, now for our last problem. Our last problem. And reviewing again, the mean is found by adding the numbers and dividing by the number of add-ins. The median is found by arranging the numbers from least to greatest and finding the number in the middle, the median. The mode is looking at the data and finding the number that repeats the most. And sometimes no number repeats, so that means there's no mode. All right, so this for our last problem for tonight. I want us again. And let me tell you something, those of you who are working with this. This is 5th and 6th grade work. Trust me, they have moved this down. When I was in school, and you know that was a long time ago, we did not get to this, nowhere near elementary school. We might have done the mean, but we did not do, and they even do percentiles and things that I didn't get to till I got to the statistics in college. So lots of things have been moved down into the lower grades. And that's why sometimes parents are not able to help their children. So that's why I'm here. I'm here to help you help your children. I'm here to help the children and possibly to help some teachers for another way of maybe introducing a topic. All right, now for our last problem. All right, I'm going to give you a set of data, numbers, and I want you to find the mean, median, and mode. 40, 90, 36, 68, 90, 11, that's kind of low, pulls it down, 88, and 54. Now let me check mine to see 40, 90, 36, 68, 90, 11, 88, 54. All right, those are the numbers. Find the mean. And this is so simple. The median. And the mode. Okay. All right, so I'm going to pause a minute and let you work. See, first, if you can remember. And try not to use your notes. After you leave a class, if the teacher continues to process this, you should process it as well. And by now, you know when I say mean, you're going to add and divide. When I say median, you're going to arrange them and find the middle. Mode is going to be most. And that's it. That's our lesson for today. And you have learned that. All right, so let me work while you're working. What's your code?
Utilities.
What's your code?
4554.
Okay. Let me clear. All right, we're finding the mean. So that means we're going to do what? Add the numbers. And any step you get wrong in this, and that's one thing about statistics, any step you get wrong, the whole thing's going to be wrong. All right? So, my sum was 477. I hope yours was the same. And what do we have to divide that by? Count the number of add-ins. By 8. All right? And what do we get? Okay, I think you would get 59.9. All right, Now, I've allowed you to use calculators today because we don't want to complicate it with the numbers. We want to get the processes today. Okay, and we're going to divide this by 8. Okay, let's see. 4, 7, 7. Divided by 8. Okay, 59. Let's see. 479. Okay, I put the wrong number in. $479 divided by 8 equals 59.9. When we round it off, we get 59.875, and that rounds off to 59.9. Now let's find the median. Let's find the median. Okay, now the only thing we have to do to find the median is middle, is to arrange the numbers properly. So let's arrange the numbers properly from the least to the greatest and find the median. All right, so if I do that here, that's 40, it's the lowest. No, not it is. 36, no, 11. 11. Okay. Okay, we don't have any 20s. Okay, we have 36. We have no more 30s. We have 40. Okay. Okay, we don't have any more 40s. We have 54. And what I'm modeling is what you have to do. 54, to be certain that you don't lose some numbers. 54, we don't have any more 50s. 68. All right, we don't have any more 60s. All right, we don't have any 70s. We have 88. And that's that. We have 90. And another 90. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's what I did in my statistics class because it really hurt my feelings. I know how to do this, and then I make a mistake by not copying the numbers correctly. All right, so we find in the median, just go. All right, got two numbers in the middle again. And what do we say we do when that occurs? We find the mean of those two numbers. So we add them, 54 plus 68. And what do we get? 122. And divide that by what? By 2, of course, because we only added 2. And we get 61. Okay, got that? Okay, now the mode is easy. Does any number appear more than once? Mode, most. Mode, most. And this is what I tell my students how. It's one easy way to remember. Mode mode and most start out the same way. So the mode is what? We have two 90s. The mode is 90. Okay? So we have two 90s. Okay, so today we have found the mean, the median, and the mode. These are called central tendencies because they help us to analyze data that we may have so we can find out what the mean is, which is the average, the number that is in the middle, and also the number that occurs the most. All right, so again, This has not been a difficult lesson. Just remember, mean is the same as average. It means that we are finding the middle, we call these central tendencies. One of the questions one student I tutored last week he had a question that says, which of these are central tendencies? And it said mean, median, mode, and range. Well, we didn't do range today. That's so easy. But the range is nothing more than the difference between the lowest number and the highest number. But that's not a central tendency. That sort of just tells us how distant the values are, the top from the bottom. But the mean, median, and mode are called central tendencies because they measure the things that are happening in the center of the data. The average is the mean, the median is the mean average, median, middle, mode, most. How simple can that be? So I hope today, for some of you, you have reviewed this. For others of you, you have learned it. And for some of you who haven't had it, you're going to. If you took good notes, when you get to it, you'll be ready for it. So again, I say these central tendencies are easy. And these occur in the schools in Virginia in the 5th and 6th grade. That's where this lesson was taken today. So parents, you got to get up with it. So parents, I hope that you now can help your child with the mean, median, and mode. So again, I say thank you for listening. Thank you for participating. And I'll see you next week. Be blessed.